welcome to another episode of Blues in the Basement. I'm Jay Stulo, and today I wanted to talk about transition licks. When we're soloing in a blues context, there are a couple of positions that a lot of guitar players spend a lot of time in. So I'm going to go, let's take a look at the key of D. I'm going to be in D pentatonic minor, more or less, working out of that position. The other position I'm going to go into is those four notes, which is an extension of the pentatonic minor. So there's a lot of things that are common, right? Often done, ubiquitous, you might say, in both of these positions. So using just those four notes. Albert Kingland, Otis Rush, all kinds of great players do a lot of things in that territory. All right, so if you're in here, how do you get back here in a way that sounds natural? You don't want to do things that sound kind of herky-jerky, like where there's a real obvious break in I'm in this position, now I'm over here. And that works, and there are, times there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But what you want to find is a way to transition from this position to this position. So I'm going to show you a couple of them. I've heard a lot of guitar players do this particular lick. I've heard it way back in early 50s, mid-50s. B.B. King was doing it. And there's a lot of the Texas blues guitar players who were, I think, pretty influenced by that era of B.B. King. You hear Jimmy Vaughn do this. You definitely hear Anson Thunderberg do it quite a lot. And it's such a cool lick that everybody should know how to do this. All right, so if I'm in this position, and I do a lick like that, that was my transition. So if I slow that down, it's just a, and then I can do like a pull off to this note. But the real trick is the slide. So you're playing this like, really common lick. It's interesting, melodically, that's sort of like right out of Otis Rush's I Can't Quit You Baby. Very cool lick. And you can do that in a way that will get you from here into this position. So, really cool lick. Really simple to do. Every once in a while when I do this, I get a kind of a noisy string that's adjacent to that. You can almost kind of hear that if I'm up on stage flailing away, You can kind of hear that subtly as it sneaks through. You want to try to avoid that. I usually try to. Unless we're in the heat of the moment, right? And then what happens in the basement stays in the basement. So that's the first transition lick. So that works in any key. Let's say we're going to be in A. So it's here. That. Same lick. When you get into the keys where you're playing in these positions and the frets are spaced further apart, it's a little harder. You can still do it, and it works. We could be in the dreaded key of F. And it will work there too. It just has a certain sound once you get into the kind of if you're in key of B, C, C sharp, D, all the way up to even in the key of E. There it is. So that is a staple of, certainly of my playing, and a lot of people. You'll hear, like I said, Jimmy Vaughn does that a lot. Ronnie Earl did that a lot. Anson Funderburg did that a lot. And I don't know for certain that it sort of goes back to B.B. King. Early B.B. King was, really influenced by T-Bone Walker and Lonnie Johnson, so he might have got it from those guys, or it might have just been something he played on the guitar that was a reflection or was sort of influenced by the way he sang. So that's transition lick 1. All right, so here's another one. So this is a super common blues lick. Once again, we're in the key of D, and that's my scale I'm working off. So the next, right, we got those 4 notes. If I'm going to get another note out of that on the 3rd string, on the G string, it's going to be that note. So I'm in D, so I have 15, 13, 15, 13, 14. So this note and this note are, they sort of form what sounds like a 7th chord, a dominant 7th sort of sound. You have your 5th and your flattened 7th, your minor 7th, which is that dominant 7th sound. So, super common. Blues players all the way going back to the Delta would use that. You hear it. Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top does that a lot. Lots of things you can do with just that cool little 2-note thing. You can slide into it and get like a triplet feel. Triplets being groups of 3. I usually count those as 1 tuck, 2 tuck, 3 tuck, 4 tuck. If I count. I don't count that much when I'm playing anymore. But if you were to say make an instructional video and try to explain that to somebody, you would probably want to count it. The other way to count it is triple, let, triple, let, triple, let, triple, let. So, you're in this position. And you don't have to do it like that. It's just those 2 notes. So this time I'm using the slide is not taking place here, from here. It's actually in here, from there to this position. So you're transitioning off of these 2 notes, and then you're sliding into that position. All kinds of stuff you can do in there. So those slides become really convenient. They're very musical, and they kind of make your phrases flow a little bit, but they're also just a matter of convenience to get from this box to this box. Now, you can take a look at reversing that and doing a transition from here. And now I want to go up into this turf, right? So, you can do the same kind of thing where you just slide up on any of those transitions. So let's reverse that first one. You can do... So you're just sliding up. You could do the same thing here. Those sort of slides going up, especially if you use a vibrato like that, very, very reminiscent of things that Otis Rush would do. Such a singy way of playing guitar, where he would do a lot of slides that would turn into bends. Very cool technique. So those sort of things where you're sliding up and then bending. Very precise bending is important. There's nothing worse than a sour bend, a bend that's sharp or flat. And if you're gonna go sharp, go full Buddy Guy and just keep going until it sounds good again. know. So, transition licks in pentatonic blues soloing. Very cool stuff. If you practice that, in a way, you practice the scale and get used to those slides, but then start making music with that as soon as you can, so you're not just playing scales and you're inventing little phrases. It doesn't take a lot. You can do a whole lot with a very little bit. If you listen to some of that early Anson Funderburgh stuff that he did with Sam Myers, especially, a whole phase of his playing was based on just sort of working out of this little space. He did so much. So much with that. So, I hope you have fun with that. I hope you find it useful. I hope you make some music. If you like these videos, take a moment to subscribe now to the YouTube channel. You can follow me on the Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and whatever else is out there. Just search for my name, Jay Stulo. If you really like the videos and want to show your support for the channel, there's a link in the description to donate. I certainly appreciate it. I put out 2 or 3 videos a week, mostly blues, guitar playing, blues rock a little bit. There may be some videos that are a little bit out there, because I like to get outside of the box every once in a while. So, thanks a lot. See you next time.